Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Learning English Practical. I'm Ethan, and joining me today is my co host, Mary.
Hey everyone! We're really happy to have you here. Today's topic is something every English learner struggles with: thinking in English.
You know, Mary, I was talking to one of our listeners yesterday. She told me she always translates everything in her head before speaking.
I used to do that too. It makes your brain work double time. You think in your native language first, then translate into English, and by the time you're ready to speak, the moment is gone.
That's why today we're going to help you train your brain to think directly in English.
And trust me, once you start doing that, everything changes. Your speaking becomes faster, your listening improves, and you feel so much more confident.
So stay with us because by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to stop translating and start living your thoughts in English.
So, Ethan, let's start with the big question. Why is it so important to think in English instead of translating?
Well, the truth is, if you always translate in your head, you'll never sound fluent. It's like driving with the brakes on. Your brain is trying to form sentences twice, once in your native language and once in English.
And sometimes the translation just doesn't fit. For example, in some languages, people might say, I have a cold. But in English, we say, I'm cold. Translation can make things sound unnatural.
But when you think directly in English, your brain starts to build sentences the same way native speakers do. You react faster, sound more natural, and stop worrying about grammar so much.
And there's another benefit: confidence. When English words come to you automatically, you feel calmer and more comfortable speaking.
You don't pause or overthink. You just talk, listen, and respond naturally.
So, thinking in English isn't just about language, it's about freedom. Freedom to express yourself clearly without fear or hesitation.
That's the mindset we want our listeners to build today.
So, Ethan, many learners try to think in English, but somehow get stuck. What do you think causes that?
One big reason is perfectionism. People are afraid of making mistakes, so they pause too long trying to find the perfect sentence. But language is not about perfection, it's about communication.
That's so true. I remember one student who refused to speak until every sentence sounded like a native speaker's. But that's impossible at the beginning. The key is progress, not perfection.
Another mistake is relying too much on their native language. For example, they think first in Vietnamese or Spanish, then translate every word. That process is too slow and it builds the wrong habit.
Instead, learners should start with simple English thoughts, like, I'm hungry, it's raining, I feel tired. Small, natural thoughts build confidence.
And don't forget vocabulary overload. Some learners think they need thousands of words before they can think in English, but that's not true. You can think with just a few hundred useful words.
Use what you already know, even if it's basic. Thinking simply is much better than thinking perfectly.
The goal isn't to sound like a dictionary, it's to sound like you.
The moment you stop translating and start trusting your own thoughts, your English journey really begins.
So, Mary, let's talk about how learners can actually train their brain to think in English every day.
A simple way is to describe what you're doing in real time. For example, when you wake up, say to yourself, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm getting dressed, I'm making coffee. It sounds simple, but it's powerful.
I also tell my students to name what they see around them: a chair, a phone, a window. It helps connect English words directly to objects, not translations.
And another fun method is inner dialogue. Talk to yourself in English in your head. Ask small questions like, what should I eat? Or where are my keys? It feels natural and builds fluency fast.
Learners can also use English while thinking about emotions. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm happy. That helps connect language to feeling.
The key is consistency. Just 5 or 10 minutes every day is enough to create the habit.
The more you use English in your thoughts, the more automatic it becomes, like switching your brain's language mode.
Ethan, many learners tell me they start thinking in English, but then feel shy or afraid of making mistakes. What do you usually tell them?
I always say mistakes mean progress. You can't build confidence without getting a little uncomfortable. When you catch yourself hesitating, just keep going. Fluency comes from flow, not perfection.
I used to correct every small mistake in my head when I was learning French, and it slowed me down. Once I stopped worrying and focused on expressing my ideas, my fluency grew naturally.
The goal is communication, not grammar perfection. Think of it like exercising a muscle. Every time you use English, even imperfectly, you strengthen your speaking reflex.
Another helpful mindset is celebrating small wins. When you understand a movie scene or you think of a word faster than yesterday, say to yourself, "Nice, I'm improving."
And if you ever feel tired or unmotivated, remember why you started learning. Whether it's to connect with new people, travel, or grow your career, your purpose is your fuel.
Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build by showing up every day.
Exactly. Believe first, improve next. Mary, one of the best ways to start thinking naturally in English is to use it in your daily life. Even small actions make a big difference.
For example, I tell my students to switch their phone language to English. It seems simple, but it forces your brain to process everyday words automatically, like settings, notifications, or reminders.
I also recommend describing what you're doing during the day in English. When you cook, you can say, I'm chopping the onions or I'm boiling the water. It's like turning your routine into a mini language lesson.
And when you walk outside, think in English about what you see. The sky looks bright, or that shop is crowded. The more you narrate your world in English, the more natural it becomes.
Talking to yourself in English might feel funny at first, but it's actually powerful. You're training your mind to respond instantly without translating.
And if you can, join English speaking groups online or offline. Talking with real people builds confidence and gives you real world experience.
The more you live in English, not just study it, the faster you'll start thinking with it.
The goal is to make English part of your lifestyle, not just a subject in your notebook. Some learners say they understand English, but when someone suddenly talks to them, their mind just freezes. Why does that happen?
That's really common, Mary. It happens because most learners study English, but they don't train their reflexes. When you listen or read, you're using your passive skills. But speaking requires active recall. Your brain has to find words instantly.
So, to fix that, they need to practice reacting faster, right?
One great exercise is shadowing. Listen to native speakers, podcasts, short dialogues, or even movies, and repeat immediately after them. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal is to train your mouth and brain to move together.
That's what we do on this channel, Learning English Practical. It's all about helping people practice speaking naturally, not just memorizing grammar.
Another trick is doing quick response drills. For example, ask yourself questions and answer them fast. What did you eat for breakfast? I had toast. What's the weather like? It's sunny. That kind of speed training builds fluency.
I also like using time pressure. Set a timer for 30 seconds and try to describe something without stopping. Your room, your day, your favorite movie. It forces your brain to think in English without pausing to translate.
The key is consistency. Even 5 minutes a day of active speaking practice can change how your brain handles English.
So, everyone, don't fear mistakes. Quick thinking doesn't come from perfection, it comes from practice under pressure. Keep going, and one day you'll realize English flows out naturally.
Motivation always fades if it's built only on excitement. Real progress comes from discipline and small wins. When you focus on what you've already achieved, one new phrase learned, 1 minute of speaking without hesitation, that keeps your momentum alive.
I tell my students to track their progress. Maybe keep a learning journal or record your voice once a week. When you listen again after a month, you'll hear the difference.
And another secret is to make English part of your lifestyle. Watch your favorite shows in English, follow English speaking YouTubers, or even think in English during daily routines. The more natural it feels, the easier it gets.
I love that idea. English as a habit, not a task.
Learning English isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Take small steps every day and celebrate your consistency.
You're not just learning English, you're building a stronger, more confident version of yourself. Keep showing up and success will follow.
Before we wrap up today's episode, let's quickly review everything we've talked about. First, stop translating in your head. The more you translate, the slower you think. Instead, train your brain to think directly in English. Describe what you see, what you feel, or what you plan to do, all in English, even if it's simple.
The second key point is to build and maintain your daily habits. Even 10 minutes a day is powerful if you do it consistently. You can listen to short podcasts, shadow sentences, or write a few lines in your journal. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress.
Third, confidence matters more than accuracy. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every error is a sign that you're trying. Confidence grows through action, not through waiting until you're ready.
I couldn't agree more. And remember, small steps lead to big results. Your English will improve naturally if you keep practicing.
So, to summarize, stop translating, think in English, keep your daily routine, and speak boldly, even with mistakes.
That's the spirit. Stay consistent, stay positive, and trust the process.
You're not just learning a language, you're transforming how you express yourself. Keep moving forward, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed this session and found it useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Learning English Practical. Your support helps us keep creating more episodes to help you learn English naturally every single day.
And remember, every small effort you make today brings you one step closer to fluency. Keep listening, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep thinking in English.
Whether you're walking, cooking, or just relaxing, make English part of your daily life. It's not just about studying, it's about building a mindset.
We truly appreciate having you here with us. Your journey matters, and we're here to guide you every step of the way.
So stay motivated, stay curious, and never stop learning.
Keep practicing, keep thinking in English, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, happy learning!